This is your one and only 𝐈𝐸𝐸81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another informational Valheim video. Today, we're taking a look at the best armor for the Mistlands. Let's get to it. So I was on the Valheim Reddit page the other day, and I saw a discussion going on about whether or not the root armor was a better option to enter the Mistlands with than the padded armor. Now, obviously, if you want to play a heavy armored tank style character, you are going to eventually upgrade to the carapace armor, because that would be the evolution of the padded armor. However, the root armor does give you resistance to pierce damage. So some people were assuming that it may be a better option to enter the Mistlands with the root armor so that when you are fighting Seekers, you take reduced damage from their attacks. And I thought, you know what, this is an interesting concept, because what if the root armor is your best option to enter into the Mistlands with, because you do need to spend some time in the Mistlands in Plains level gear before you can start unlocking Mistlands level gear. Even more so, you need to complete multiple dungeons in order to unlock Mistlands level gear. So in order to figure out the answer to this question, it was time to get all sciencey. So I decided to run a test with the padded versus the root armor, and in that test, I spawned in a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 Seeker, and I let them beat the crap out of me with each of those armors on. While they were attacking me with each of these armor sets, I recorded it, and then I watched those recordings back, listed the different types of attacks that they do, and listed the damage that was done for each of those attacks for each armor. So the Seekers have 4 attacks total. I didn't count the flying attack because that attack is essentially the same as their lunge attack. So when they're on the ground, they only have 3 attacks. They have a poke with either their left or right side where they do a quick jab. They have a lunge where they rear back with both arms and they swing forward and move forward quickly. And then they have a bite. Their third attack is when they fly, and then they basically do the lunge attack in the air. So essentially they have 2 lunge attacks, but it's the same attack. So for these tests, I recorded the poke, the lunge, and the bite. So let's take a look at those averages. You can see here that our averages for the padded for a tier 1 Seeker, which is a no star Seeker. For the poke, our average was 33.34 damage with the padded armor. For the root armor, it was 17.39. So the root armor does indeed reduce the amount of damage you take from a poke. Now here's the thing, the root armor actually has less total armor than the padded armor. A full set of root armor maxed out at level 4 is only 42 armor. A full set of the padded armor maxed out at level 4 is 96 armor. So it's less armor, and we took less damage on average from the poke. That is a massive reduction from 33 to 17. However, if we take a look at the tier 1 Seeker's lunge, you can see on average for the padded armor, it did 21.15 damage. With the root armor, I took 51.62 damage. This tells me that the lunge is a different type of damage than pierce. It's probably slash, since they do a slashing motion. That's what I would assume. I doubt it's blunt. It could be, who knows? It's obviously not pierce damage. Then if we take a look at the bite, on average with the padded armor, with a tier 1 Seeker, you're going to take 19.85 damage. Wearing the root armor, a bite will do an average of 9.6 damage. That tells us that the bite is indeed pierce damage. And this same pattern shows up across the board on tier 2 and tier 3 Seekers. Even on a tier 3 Seeker, the poke from a tier 3 Seeker, which deals 124 damage to you on average if you are wearing padded armor, only does 67 damage to you on average if you are wearing root armor. And if you take a look, I also show the total overall damage between all of these, and that is tier 1s, tier 2s, and tier 3s. So on average, you are going to take 58 damage fighting a Seeker wearing padded armor, and 54 damage fighting a Seeker wearing root armor. Now, the interesting thing is that if we remove the lunge from this, you can see that there is a massive overall difference in average damage. And the lunge is pretty easy to dodge. It's very telegraphable. And if you look down at the very bottom, that is the average damage done to you by a seeker minus the lunge. So wearing padded, your average damage is going to be 60. Wearing root, your average damage is going to be 33. Now keep in mind, that is if you manage to avoid every lunge possible. Moving on to the ticks and the seeker soldier. Here you can see the test done with ticks versus root armor and padded armor. Ticks on average will do 3 damage to you wearing root armor and 5 damage to you, almost 6 damage because it's 5.62 damage, wearing padded armor. So ticks do piercing damage when they are attached to you. The seeker soldier, on the other hand, is a bit of a different story. So the seeker soldiers have 3 attacks. They have the headbutt, the stomp, and a bite. You can see here that wearing the root armor, on average, the headbutt did 51.16 damage. The stomp did on average of 70, and the bite did on average of 49.48. However, wearing the padded, the headbutt was 23, the stomp was 31, and the bite was 22. So you take a massive reduction in damage wearing the padded armor fighting a seeker soldier. Now I know many of you are probably already down there in the comments screaming this, and don't worry, I finally realized the situation after doing all the testing. The only part of the root armor that you need to wear to get the resistance is the chest piece. This means that you can mix and match armors to maximize your damage reduction when entering the Mistlands. So you are going to be much better off entering the Mistlands wearing combo armor, meaning that you want to wear the root harness, the root chest piece, the padded pants, the padded helmet, and the linen cape. Now I did these tests wearing the feather cape because I wasn't thinking when I was running the test, but the linen cape is going to get you a little bit more armor when you initially enter the Mistlands. Obviously you want to update to the feather cape as soon as possible because it's just too handy for the Mistlands. Anyway, I digress. Let's take a look at these numbers. So if you entered the Mistlands wearing padded armor except for the chest piece, you swap that out for the root chest piece and you upgrade it to tier 4, which in running all of these tests, all of the armor was upgraded to tier 4, you will enter the Mistlands with 82 armor and protection against pierce. And that is almost double the amount of armor you would have if you just wore basic root armor. Now, I just ran a test wearing this armor versus a 1-star seeker, which is a tier 2, and I compared that to my other testing. So you can see here that a poke from a tier 2 seeker, a 1-star seeker, will deal on average 21 damage, a lunge will deal on average 64 damage, and a bite will deal on average 12 damage, making our total average damage from fighting a tier 2 seeker 32 damage. If we were wearing the root armor, our total average damage would be 53, and if we were wearing padded armor, our total average damage would be 52. So you take a massive damage reduction from fighting the winged seekers if you swap your chest piece out for the root chest piece. Now keep in mind that during all of these tests, I did not test what would happen if you fight a _ʟᴜ. This armor does indeed have a weakness versus fire damage. So while you are going to take really good reduced damage fighting seekers, _ʟᴜ are going to probably be much more dangerous for you. However, with the most recent changes that they made in the most recent patch, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because they drastically reduced the _ʟᴜ's numbers in the Mistlands. And if you're really worried about it, you could just keep a padded chest piece in your inventory and swap out to it if you are going to fight a _ʟᴜ, because you can hear them when they are close by. So if you know one is close by, you can just quickly swap and be ready to engage with it. But I feel like the numbers here are pretty clear because you can see we not only took even more reduced damage having the increased armor from the poke and the bite, we also took much more reduced damage from the lunge, although the lunge wearing the combo armor still did a little more damage wearing the combo armor versus the full padded. Full padded we only took 48, wearing the combo armor we took 64, although 64 is still not terrible numbers considering how much we reduced the other 2 attacks, and the lunge is really easy to dodge. Now of course a lot of this is also going to come down to preference in the type of armor you like to wear. For example, I completed my Mistlands journey wearing the Fenris armor because I liked the increased move speed, giving me maximum maneuverability to dodge attacks. But I realize a lot of people like to go full tank, so for those of you who do like to go full tank, this is definitely an option. Alright, well let me know what you think about these findings down there in the comments section. Were you surprised? Did you already know this? Have you been running the combo armor already? I'm interested to hear your all's thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful and informational, consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for another awesome guide, you can find one of those on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.